a rainy Friday night here in Canberra. Time to do a mock draft. We're doing an all-Aussie mock draft. So I had 12. I now have 11 analysts and Noah. Noah Rubin. I'm sure everyone knows Noah Rubin. Honorary Aussie for the night. I thought this would just be fun. I don't get to do many drafts at 8:30 at night. Usually have to do them early in the morning. So looking forward to this one. Welcome to Stuff It, a fantasy basketball podcast, part of the Old Man Squad, brought to you by FanDuel and FanTrax. We're about 4 minutes away. I have the draft room ready to go. I'm hoping everyone is here. Most have confirmed, so it would be nice to have 12 actual drafters and no auto drafters. Remember, please like and subscribe. Hit the thumbs up. Find Old Man Squad, all of the shows, all of the stuff that's being rolled out. There's a lot, and we're having fun. We're enjoying life with Dan Besbris, and looking forward to this show. Let me bring the draft room up. Do we want my face? Let's just have it for now anyway. So I have 6 analysts and I have 6 Old Man Squad Discord community members. So you can see up the top there the analysts: B-Dub, Matt Smith, S-Man Sports, he's Matt Smith, Noah Rubin, Braino from Insight, Horse from Insight, NBA Fantasy Bible, and Matty G. So 6 actually, no, I think it might be 7. I'm wrong there, aren't I? Horse, Braino. Anyway, we've got 12. Let's hope they all turn up. It's a standard 12 team, 9 cat. We are doing third round reversal because I think most leagues should be doing third round reversal this year. So we're going to do that. 30-second pick timer. So hopefully we can bang through it in about 45 minutes. I'm hoping not to have to pause it or anything. Trying to get the intro out of the way before the draft starts so I don't have to pause it. Just a reminder, head over to FanDuel. They are sponsoring us at the moment. Head over to the FanDuel website. They've got a lot of preseason odds, all sorts of things. I just enjoy reading through them. The Hornets, so their over-under for this season is 26.5 wins. I like to be an optimist. The Hornets, though, I mean, it's been bad, hasn't it, the last few years? I really don't know what we're going to get this year. It's pretty simple. If LaMelo stays healthy, I think they win more than this. If he doesn't, I'm not sure. I probably would take the over as someone who likes to be a glass half full kind of person. I would probably take the over for the Hornets. Just Eastern Conference, a little bit weaker this season. Even if he gets injured, I suppose there's a chance they just fluke into some wins. They've got Con Knipple there. They've got Colin Sexton, Brandon Miller if he stays healthy. Obviously, the center position they're going to lack a little bit, so it could be their undoing. But yeah, I'd take the over there. But jump over to FanDuel, sportsbook.fanduel.com. Check out all of the regular season win totals. They've got the Christmas Day games already up, player awards, conference winners, division winners. So everything you need is right there for you. And 50 seconds away. Simmons from Deep is picking first, followed by B-Dub, Matt Smith, Big Balls, Noah Rubin, Braino, M. Jordan of Baseball, the Radaladian, Horse, Don't Jump Man, NBA Fantasy Bible, and Matty G. Now, Matty G actually requested pick 12, so we'll keep an eye on what he does there. And Matt Smith was pretty happy with pick 3. He did ask me whether the order was set, and I didn't pick this order. It was randomized. Other than Matty G, really, I offered Matt Smith if he wanted another position. He said he was happy with 3, and look, to be honest, he's going to get one of Jokic, Wemby, or Shea. So, he doesn't have to really make any decisions there. Jokic goes at 1, Wemby goes at 2. We will expect Shea to go. I don't really need to break those guys down too much, do I? There goes Shea at 3. Luka would go has been going at 4. Let's see. Luka does go at 4. Giannis has been going at 5. Let's see what Noah does, though, here. I'm going to take my face off the screen because you don't need to see me. All right. Yes, Giannis at 5. This is where it gets interesting. So Anthony Davis is who I like at 6, and he goes at 6. I know there's injury risk, but Yeah, I find myself taking him every year, and look, it pays off. Sometimes it doesn't. It's hit or miss. Anthony Edwards goes at 7, a little bit high for me, but once we get sort of pick 6 through to about pick, let's go 18, even 20. You can make a case for any one of about 12 guys here. So no issues at all with Edwards at 7. I personally would probably take Cade or Trey at pick 7. But yeah, fine with Edwards. Cade does go at 8, followed by James Harden and then Trey Young. Yeah, this is sort of where we're sitting. There is a little run of sort of guards here in this spot. Who goes next? I mean, it could be, okay, Booker goes. I was going to say it could be Curry, Kevin Durant. Some people like Mitchell, Tyrese Maxey. I've seen him go in this sort of range. Cat, potentially. We have to keep an eye on builds, obviously, as well. So Matty G goes with Cat at pick 12. So, yeah, look, that's a fairly standard first round, I think. Like I said, you can make a case for a few other guys. Matty G goes with Cat and Curry. So no real build as of yet for him. Pretty balanced. Not a lot of defense, but yeah, still some options for him. We'll see who DMAC goes with here. He is at pick 14. He goes with Maxey. Okay, so Maxey Booker. So he's getting those assists early. He's getting his guards out of the way early, and we do need to do that. If you aren't punting assists, excuse me, if you aren't punting assists, you need to get guards early. Mobley at 15. I like Mobley this season. A little bit is going to depend on what they do with Jarrett Allen. Not in terms of whether they play him, but just if they try to play Mobley at center a little bit with some Larry Nance at the 4. Sabonis goes at 16. That's probably the highest I've seen him go. I'm okay with it, though. We know, and he's paired him with Harden, so that's actually quite a good pairing. Radladian goes with Kevin Durant after he took Cade. Donovan Mitchell goes with the 6th pick of the second round, so we're up to pick 18 there. There goes Amen Thompson to Brano. Now, so whether he's actually going for a specific build here, but he's gone Anthony Davis, Amen Thompson. I love this pairing. I've taken these two as my first 2 in a number of drafts. My next pick, if I was picking here and I got Anthony Davis, then Amen Thompson, my next pick would be Dyson Daniels. So let's see which direction he goes. Jalen Johnson goes next. I'm fine with him there as well. He's another guy you could make a case for on the turn. Jalen Williams. Interesting that Jalen Johnson went ahead of Jalen Williams. We've seen it the other way around in most drafts, but again, I'm fine. We're still in that range where you can sort of make a case for anyone. Have we got anyone left in that discussion? Look, I guess if Alex Barutha was drafting, Josh Giddey would be in that discussion. LaMelo, if you think he's going to be healthy, is in that discussion. There goes Josh Giddey. Okay, so Matt Smith, obviously on the phone with Alex Barutha there, talking tactics. He takes Josh Giddey with pick 22. Probably about as high as I've seen him go. Would he have been there with his... Well, so what's his next pick? 27... 24, 5, 6, yeah, 27. Would he have been there? Potentially. But again, he's gone Shea and Josh Giddey, so filling out those guard stats, and both actually decent rebounders for guards as well. Big Balls went with Luka and Jalen Williams as his pairing. B-Dub really leaning into the big build, Wemby and Jaren Jackson, so he's locking down blocks early. Simmons from deep does go with LaMelo at pick 24. I don't mind taking him there because you can then come back. Actually, no, sorry, it's 3rd round reversal, so he can't. I wonder if he realised that. I don't mind LaMelo at 24. I think that's fine, pairing him with Jokic. Then we jump all the way back to Matty G, who has the first pick. He has gone with Miles Turner. So still looking pretty balanced for him, trying to get some blocks now. His steals are probably a little bit low. So let's see if he goes in that direction with his next pick. DMAC on the board. So he's gone Booker, Maxey, and Jamal Murray. So really big guard build here. Interesting for DMAC, he usually doesn't. He usually doesn't punt. He usually goes balanced, which would tell me that he probably with his next 2 or 3 picks, he is going to draft like a Walker Kessler or who else? Jalen Duran, Mark Williams, someone like that, or maybe even 2 of them. Scotty Barnes goes to Don't Jump Man and LeBron James to Horse. Look, no real surprises yet. Jalen Brunson is probably going to go in this range here as well. Now, I'm not that high on Jalen Brown. His ADP is 23, which I think is way too high. Tyler Hero goes at pick 29. Now, I'm certainly not an advocate for Tyler Hero, but I do think this is his opportunity to have his best fantasy season. I mean, Miami are certainly not loaded up with talent this season, so I think Tyler Hero in this range is okay. Chet goes with the 30th pick. That's fine. There we go. Braino. He does go Dyson Daniels, so he's doing exactly my build here. Anthony Davis, Amen Thompson, Dyson Daniels. My next pick, if we're going to see if we can project what he's doing here, which will be what about 36, like 42 or something. My next pick would be a center who blocks shots. So it could be Walker Kessler that he goes for. Yucca Pirtle, but I think you can get Pirtle a bit later, so I probably wouldn't reach into the 40s to get him. Walker, I think it would be Walker Kessler for me, would be my target. After Dyson Daniels goes Alperen Şengün and De'Aaron Fox. So big balls and DMAC and potentially Matt Smith. Let's see who he takes here. All 3 of those players have taken 3 guards. Now, Jalen Williams obviously is forward eligible. So not a pure guard, but we've got Shea, Josh Giddey, and Jalen Brunson for Matt Smith. Luka, Jalen Williams, De'Aaron Fox for big balls, and Booker, Maxey, Jamal Murray for DMAC. So, as I said, DMAC, this is not really on brand for him. So I would assume that he is going to grab some bigs coming back, but I could be wrong. He might be trying something different here. B-Dub, he goes for a guard after taking Wemby and Jaren Jackson. He goes with Ja Morant. I don't mind Ja here. I know he's been, he's been fine the last couple of years, some injuries, that sort of thing. But yeah, I'm fine. Now, it was an auto pick, but he hasn't said anything. Let me just check. Yeah, no, nothing. Okay, so yeah, Ja Morant was an auto pick, but there's nothing in the chat to say that he didn't want him. So potentially he had a queue set up. Denny Avdia goes with pick 36, too high for me, but I just think it's eliminating all the value. But again, look, you're picking on the turn here, so your next pick isn't going to be for another 23, 24 picks. So if you want him, you're sort of in a position where you have to take him. Austin Reeves, I don't mind Austin Reeves there either. I think he could push top 30 this season. Taking him at 37 is okay. Darius Garland, Derek White, Paolo Banchero. So Matt Smith still yet to draft a forward or a center. He has 4 point guards. Yeah, they're all point guards. Paolo Banchero goes followed by Pascal Siakam and Kawhi Leonard. Okay, so Braino has gone with Kawhi Leonard there. Look, not a terrible fit. As I said, I would have just gone Walker Kessler only because if you look at B-Dub's team there, he's got Wemby and Jaren Jackson. So to compete with him, at the moment, Braino has Anthony Davis, who is a good shot blocker, but behind both of those players. I mean, Thompson is fine as a shot blocker, but I wouldn't call him elite. So we'll see if he does get some blocks there. Bam Adebayo goes after Kawhi Leonard, followed by Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler, really good value there, I think. Pick 44. Still, he's not the first round Jimmy or top 15 Jimmy that we've had in the past, but still, I think a fairly safe second round player per game. There goes Cooper Flagg to Horse. So he goes at 45. This is where we're seeing him go around pick 40, give or take a couple of picks. So I'm okay with that. France, I'm okay with that. Nothing really jumping off the page here yet. of someone going stupidly high. As I said, I think Avdia for me was probably too early. But again, picking on the turn, you sort of got to take your player because you know that it's not coming back to you for a long, long time. There goes Trey Murphy. I like Trey Murphy, probably the Pelicans' best player this season, so should be in for a good year. So DMAC, maybe he is punting because he still has basically no rebounds, basically no blocks. So maybe he is punting those two stats. Matty G goes with Porzingis, another shot blocker. Porzingis, one of my favourite draft picks this season. You can get him in this range, the 45 range, and I think he could still be a top 20 player per game. And the Hawks, hopefully they've got some sort of a plan for him to try and maximise what they can get out of him. Matty G then goes with Pritchard at, what are we up to? Pick 50. 49. Pritchard goes at 49. Ahead of Desmond Bain. Interesting. Who would you take? Would you take Bain or Pritchard? I'd probably still go Bain, I think, but it's pretty close. They're quite similar players. So okay with that. There's Jaylen Brown. Obviously, per game, again, he's going to have a very good year, but we don't know what the Celtics are going to do. Jaylen Brown, Derek White are probably the two front runners for shutdown candidates, where I think Peyton Pritchard probably is reasonably safe. Horse goes with Walker Kessler at 52. I like that. If you there's a lot of value on Utah, Charlotte, not really Brooklyn. The Wizards, there's a little bit of value. So some of those teams, Portland, who we don't think are going to be trying too hard, if we're being honest. But I think there is a bit of value on some of their guys because people are quite cautious when drafting them. Brandon Miller goes to the Radladian at 53. I'm pretty high on Brandon Miller this year as well. There goes Kobe White, and Brano takes Zion Williamson. So he's sort of gone in a slightly different direction here to what I would have done. As I said, he hasn't got enough blocks in my mind. When you're limiting yourself to 6 categories, you need to be really strong. And at the moment, he's probably like third or fourth in blocks, maybe. I'd have to have a good look, but yeah, he will need to get some blocks there. Zion's fine defensively, but most of his value just comes from points. Field goal percentage is fine as well. OG Anunoby goes next, followed by Zach LaVine. Anunoby's an interesting one. Had him last year. Ended up having a really good year. He was a little bit up and down. The field goal percentage usually is his downfall. So he'll go for 2 weeks and he'll shoot 56%, and then he'll go for a week and shoot 31. He's very inconsistent offensively. Hopefully, though, if they're going to manage his minutes as they will with the rest of the team, he can actually stabilize a little bit there. But he was like a top 40 player last year, and I really don't see him dropping off too much. So getting him at 56, I think there's still a round and a half of value. Zach LaVine, Ivica Zubac, Emmanuel Quickley. Good to see Zubac going in this range. Really safe center. So Matt Smith actually gets his first center. He does, and not a shot blocking center. So he's punting blocks. Look, Zubac's fantastic last year. I don't really see any way he can repeat what he did last year with Brook Lopez there, but should still be a pretty solid top 40, top 50 player. So, yeah, that's fine. Quickly's ADP tends to jump up and down. Last year we were talking him up, and then obviously he got injured. So he has slipped a little bit. What did he go at here? Pick 59. Yeah, I'm okay with that. That was an auto pick as well, so I don't know what B-Dub's doing here. It says he's in the draft room, but he's auto pick. Oh, no, there he goes. He made his pick. Okay, so maybe he's just sidetracked or something. So he took Quickly. Mark Williams was taken with the last pick of the 5th round. I love that pick. Jordan Poole, first pick of the 6th round. Jalen Green, Jakob Poeltl, Fred Van Fleet. So I've said Poeltl, and people know I'm pretty high on him. He goes at pick 63, which I think is good. I think his floor is probably around this range. And that's worst case. Like I think this is sort of where he finished last year. So yeah, I like that pick there. Noah Rubin. There you go. Asar Thompson for Noah Rubin. Very high on him this year. Braino then takes Vooch, another interesting fit for that build he's going for. Still no real shot blockers. So yeah, that would still be my concern, but rebounds are good. Field goal percentage is pretty good as well. Steals are good. Yeah, look, it's going okay. Rudy Gobert goes with the next pick. I'm probably not touching him this year. He was pretty disappointing last year. They've got some depth. I don't know if you'd call it depth, but they do have some players behind him now that could absorb some of the centre minutes. Lauri Markkanen goes with the 8th pick. Look, I did say there's value in Utah. Lauri is one of those players. I mean, if he plays 65 games and can return to the form that we saw 2 years ago, then he smashes through this. DeAndre Ayton, people are sleeping on him a little bit. I mean, I'm certainly not the highest when it comes to DeAndre Ayton, but at pick 69, I think he could be a top 50 center this season if he's locked in, motivated. And that's a question in itself. I mean, we have a pretty big sample size of DeAndre Ayton not caring. So we'll see what he does in Los Angeles. Julius Randle, very safe. Basically zero upside, but you know exactly what you're going to get with him. Jalen Duren. So D-Mac takes his first center with the 11th pick of the 6th round. And Duren at pick 71 is good value, I think. Started last season pretty slow, made me look like a bit of an idiot. But yeah, he finished strong. Detroit are going to be, I think, pushing for top 4 in the East. So yeah, I like Duren. Matty G takes Embiid. Look, this range is okay, 72. I think it's sort of risk-free. Not for me, but I just don't touch Embiid by rule. But getting him there is fine. Then he goes with Miles Bridges with the first pick of the 7th round. And like I said, a bit of value in Charlotte. I think Miles Bridges is one of those players. Donovan Clingan goes to D-Mac, so he loading up on the centers now. He's gone Duren, Clingan back-to-back. Is he leaving it too late? There's still some centers out there. I mean, Hartenstein is there. Let's just switch this up here and have a look. Let's sort by shot blockers and see who's still there. So if anyone's chasing blocks now, who have we got? Nick Claxton is probably the safest. Potentially Derek Lively. Khalil Ware is still sitting there. Zach Edey is coming into the season a bit injured. So there's not a ton of shot blocking left, or proven shot blocking. Let's call it proven shot blocking. Rebounds, Jared Allen still floating around. We know he's a very good rebounder. Claxton, Josh Hart still there as well. Hartenstein, Ware. So there are still some decent rebounders on the board. Let's have a look at steals. Who have we got? Any steals specialists still floating around? Well, Marcus Smart, Herb Jones, obviously 2 huge steals specialists. Jalen Suggs coming off an injury-plagued, back half of the season anyway. Tari Eason. Tamani Kamara still available. So we're at pick 79. I think Kamara will go soon. Cason Wallace, I'm pretty high on him as a late-round pick this season. So we'll see where he goes. Anyway, let's jump back in and just recap some of those picks. So after D-Mac took Donovan Clingan, we had Brandon Ingram, Andrew Nembhard, Paul George, DeMar DeRozan, Jarrett Allen, Onyeka Okongwu, Josh Hart, and there goes Mattis Buzelis. Very high on him as well. Good pick by Matt Smith. What's that at? 82. I think that's fine. I think his floor is probably top 100, but I'll say it's closer to top 80. And I've said a few times, all things going well, if he's utilised correctly, the Bulls are competitive. So a lot needs to fall into place. But I think he could be a top 40 player just with his skill set. Alex Sarr goes next, followed by Shaden Sharp. So we're into the 8th round now. So some of the teams are starting to take shape. Let's just have a look. Oh, yeah. Okay, so I can move it over here. All right, so let's have a look. So, I mean, look, you can look at the colours. Don't Jump Man has 6 forward eligible players. Now, obviously, they're not all forwards. Jaylen Brown can be a guard. Evan Mobley can be a centre. But certainly leaning into that wing build. D-Mac, who we said he went early. I mean, Trey Murphy's not a guard, but he sort of has a guard stat set. He basically took 5 guards and then followed up with Duran and Klingon. Matt Smith, likewise, he went 4 guards really early and then loading up on centres now. Zubats, Pirtle, Khalil Ware. So, look, as I said off the top, I think if you need your assists, you need to get them early. And you can sort of see just by glancing at the colours there, the orange is sort of more at the top or the middle. And then people are sort of cashing in on these centres from the sort of in the 50s. So you've got Mark Williams, Zubats, Kessler, Embiid, Duran, Gobert, Vooch, Okongwu, Sarr, Jared Allen, Klingon, Hartenstein, Ware. So they've all gone in about 3 rounds. So it is possible to go with some guards early and then load up late on bigs. But getting blocks late, I think, is hard. So I think we've sort of figured out rebounds are there to be had. But blocks, Hartenstein, Jared Allen, Okongwu, Vooch, Zubats, Embiid now, Duran, they're not elite shot blockers. You've got Klingon, you've got Edie, and Ware to a lesser extent are probably your 3 best shot blockers. Gobert, but he's certainly not elite anymore. All right, let's rattle off these picks. They're going quick, which I like. So first pick of the 8th round, Isaiah Hartenstein, Mikal Bridges, Khalil Ware, Cam Johnson, Jalen Suggs, Tamani Kamara, Keegan Murray, Zach Edey, Michael Porter, and Herb Jones. So who have we still got floating around here that I would... So we're still inside the top 100. We're at pick 94. So who am I surprised hasn't gone yet? Look, let's say Devin Vassell. I think he's a nice player just inside the top 100. Nick Claxton, still there. Tobias Harris. I mean, I'm not high on Tobias Harris, but it's good value. And then we're sort of shifting into late round flyers, I suppose. If I was, it's a tricky spot to be drafting in this range because there's not really anyone that has top 50 upside. I mean, I guess Anthony Simons, if he was going to start and play 33 minutes, but I don't think he will. After Herb Jones, we had Christian Brown, Bradley Beal rounds out the 8th round. Then there goes Tobias Harris and John Collins. Interesting to see what John Collins does this year, obviously playing in Los Angeles. Doc does love to... Doc's not even there. Can't even think of his name now. Anyway, Ty Lue. Doesn't mind some small ball. John Collins could play center. As I said, with Zubats, I think Brook Lopez is there. John Collins is there. So Zubats a little bit limited this season. Jay Huff goes next, followed by Norm Powell and Naz Reid. Jay Huff's interesting. I'm probably not as high on him as others. I know he had like a weird sort of week to 2 weeks last season where he was productive, but he's not young. He's been around. There's a reason he hasn't been able to stick on a team. Obviously, he's got a good opportunity here in Indiana, but I think Isaiah Jackson is probably the guy they want in there at center, but he's coming off a torn Achilles. After Naz Reid, we had Draymond Green, Kyrie Irving, and Brandon Pajemski. I like Pajemski. There goes Vassell to big balls. So, I mean, at 105, I know Vassell's upside isn't what it was 2 years ago, but I still think he could be a top 70 player. Scoot goes to Matt Smith. I like Scoot this season as well, assuming Portland utilize him correctly. And that's a big question mark. We have a good sample size of Portland not utilizing players. And speaking of Anthony Simons, not in Portland anymore, but he is a player who was, let's say he was utilized sporadically. No, that's not the right word. Anyway, he's in Boston now, probably coming off the bench. I think getting him in this range, fine. Kevin Porter, again, He probably starts. I know we go back and forwards on this one. Cole Anthony. I've said that I would like Ryan Rowlands to be the starter. I think it's Kevin Porter, though, and a player who can get you, along with Scoot. I have him and Scoot in sort of this little bucket together of point guards outside the top 100 that could get you 17 points, 7 assists. You just don't find them late in drafts, so I like both of those guys. DiVincenzo is someone who's growing on me, actually. He goes here at 109. Conley is done. I know he's still in the team, but he was terrible last year. So I think DiVincenzo could play 30 minutes a night. Think back to what he was doing for the Knicks. Now, that was a bit of an outlier, but for the Wolves to be successful this year, they're going to need a good version of DiVincenzo. So I'd look out for him to be pretty solid. His teammate, Jaden McDaniels, who is last year the best year of his career? Potentially. I do think, though, at least he found some consistency, but I still don't think people trust it, and that's why he's going at pick 110 and not pick 75. Jaden Ivey, returning off a long-term injury, looked pretty good last year. Will be interesting to see how Detroit use him. Filipowski goes next, followed by Tari Eason. Filipowski is one of those Utah players who could have value. Look, we'll learn more as the season progresses, obviously, with Utah. Their season win total, I mean, if we want to just jump back over to FanDuel very quickly, because I was looking at this. Utah over-under is 18.5. So they're actually projected to finish the worst team, I think. I was having a look. Yeah, Washington are 21.5. Brooklyn would be the only other team, I would think. Brooklyn's over-under is 20.5. So, yeah, Utah are projected to be the worst team next season, which I guess if that's on their mind and what they're looking for, then taking someone like Larry Markin and Walker Kessler is probably going to come with some risk. On the other hand, Filipowski, who should move into a bigger role, Bryce Sensabaugh, who I've taken late in a few drafts, Taylor Hendricks as well. Those guys, if you do manage to get them, if they're doing enough, I would hold them and just sort of reevaluate later in the season. But, yeah, as I said, Utah 18.5 wins. I don't know if I'd take the over or under. But, again, head over to FanDuel. It's all there. Who did we get up to? Tari Eason, I think. So Keyshawn George goes next. Very high on him this season. Obviously, perspective. I'm not high as if he's going to be a top 50 player. But, I think with no Bilal Coulibaly there for a little bit, Keontae George looked really good in Summer League. I thought he finished last year really well. I just like him. I absolutely would target him. Cam Thomas, Drew Holiday, D'Angelo Russell, RJ Barrett, CJ McCollum, and EuroLeague superstar Dennis Schroeder goes with the 12th pick of the 10th round. So we're getting there. We're getting there. And no, I'm not buying into Schroeder. Look, he's probably going to start for Sacramento. That's not saying much. Sacramento are a train wreck. So we know who Dennis Schroeder is in the NBA. He'll probably start the season really well, just to prove me wrong, and then finish in a heap. So definitely worth drafting. A starting point guard is almost always worth drafting. Bobby Portis leads us off in the 11th round. Derek Lively, Cam Whitmore, DeJounte Murray, Andrew Wiggins, and Malik Monk. So now we're getting into flyer-ish territory. I think I set this up so that there were 9 starters. Is that what it looks like there? Yeah, 9 starters. So we're definitely into the bench now. So you can take some IR guys like DeJounte Murray. Kyrie Irving went a couple of rounds ago. So at this point, we've got 4 rounds left. Did I do 14 rounds? I did, yeah. So we've got 4 rounds left. So you would basically be treating your next 3 picks as streamers. You might get lucky, but chances are you're going to end up dropping 1 or 2 of them. This is where you just go personal choice. You're usually chasing 1 to 2 categories at this point in a draft. You're not really going to find anyone that can help you across multiple categories. Taylor Hendricks is one player who can. which is why I like him. Keyshawn George is another one. I mean, look, Taylor Hendricks might not even be drafted in this draft. I think I might be on a bit of an island with him. Same with Bryce Sensabaugh. Keyshawn George, I'm not, obviously, because he was drafted. Where did we get up to? Monk? Did I get up to? Maybe. Claxton goes with the 7th pick of the 11th round. Isaiah Collier, Bub Carrington, Zach Riesachet, and Jabari Smith. And Aaron Neesmith to round out the 11th round. Jabari Smith, I think might have a good year. I know he's been pretty disappointing throughout his whole career. We've seen small flashes, but on the whole, yeah, pretty disappointing, pretty underwhelming. I just think there's basically no pressure on him now. Kevin Durant is there. Amen Thompson has sort of turned into this superstar. Tari Eason, we know what he does. Fred VanVleet will be doing his thing. Şengün has turned into a superstar. So there is no pressure on Jabari Smith. So I actually think he could settle into a nice role and have his best season. Now, what his best season looks like, I don't know. It's probably top 100, maybe top 80. But yeah, what pick was that? 131. So no risk there at all. Another auto pick to B-Dub. I don't know what's going on with B-Dub there. All right, after Aaron Neesmith, we had DeAndre Hunter with the first pick of the 12th round. Keontae George, Scottie Pippen, TJ McConnell, Benedict Mathurin, and Jonathan Kuminga. I don't mind Mathurin here. He's a weird one. He's going to play a bigger role, obviously, with no Tyrese Halliburton. But I was seeing him go inside the top 100, and I can't get aboard that. But in the 12th round, absolutely. See what he gives us to start the season. McConnell, a little bit different. So, I mean, we know that per minute McConnell is really good, but I just don't think the Pacers want to play him more than about 22 minutes. We saw last year they tried to limit him whenever possible. So I think he has to be drafted just because he'll get you assists and steals, and we've said multiple times they're hard to get. So I do like McConnell, but just temper your expectations, I would say. After Kuminga goes Aaron Gordon, and then actually back-to-back some really nice picks. Cason Wallace goes to the Rattleadian, and I said earlier I'm pretty high on him as a late-round pick. And Mitchell Robinson, I'm very high on him as a late-round pick. I think he could play 20, 22 minutes this season, and that's enough for him to be a top 100, top 90 player. And if at any point that pushes into a 26, 27-minute role because of injury or matchup, he's probably a top 50 player. So, and at, what was that, 141, again, absolutely no risk there at all. Kyle Kuzma goes next, followed by Isaiah Jackson and Stephon Castle. So there is Isaiah Jackson. Look, if you're drafting him, much like I've said with some of these Utah guys, if he's doing enough, if he's playing 20 minutes and he's getting 1.6 blocks and getting you 7 rebounds and scoring efficiently, I would hold him, because I think we reach a point where they go, oh, Jay Huff's not actually that good. We're going to go with Isaiah Jackson here. After Stephon Castle, so into the 13th round, 2 rounds left, we had Colin Sexton, followed by Nemesh Keita, Lonzo Ball, and Ace Bailey. Lonzo, really good pick. No Darius Garland for potentially the first month. So Lonzo is going to start at point guard. We saw last year that he can play 28 minutes, 29. He didn't do a lot, but he will have had a full off season with a new team. He'll be training as their point guard because Garland is not. So, yeah, I think Lonzo is a really nice target. Obviously, once Garland is back, you're probably going to move on from Lonzo. But again, 13th round, just take him, enjoy it while you can. After Ace Bailey, we had Chris Paul, Musa Diabate, and Bruce Brown. There goes Taylor Hendricks to Noah Rubin. Nice, I like it. I might actually get Noah on my show and we'll go through his team. Yeah, do like Hendricks. Still no Sensabaugh. Still no Ryan Kalkbrenner, someone else that I like late. Who else have we got sitting in here? Let's scroll down. Edgecombe, I don't mind taking a flyer on him. There's Kalkbrenner sitting with an ADP of 153. Adem Bona. So who took... so Matty G took Embiid, it'll be interesting to see if he takes a Dembona with his last pick, if he's available. Because we have talked about him being sort of a handcuff kind of thing. Chris Middleton is still floating around. We talked about him on, I think, on the Insight show on Wednesday. He just has to be drafted. I mean, even if he plays 26 minutes, he's a guy that can get you 15, 5, and 5 with a steal. Now, maybe you only get 2 months worth of him, but at this point of the draft, you know the story. After Bruce Brown, Taylor Hendricks to Noah, like I said, PJ Washington, Chris Boucher, Daniel Gafford, and Ty Jerome. What happened there? What? Oh, it's skipping. Okay. All right. Oh, well, that's all right. We'll finish at 13. Oh, check roster rules. Okay. Yep. Sorry, guys. Let me just type that. Guess it's 13 rounds only. I don't know what I checked there. So what's it? Because we did this in a draft we did last night. No more roster spots. Check. Okay. Well, I mean, we've got. Yeah, we've got. Sorry, I'm just typing in the chat here for people to type in some players they were considering, just so I can get an idea of who people were looking at. Someone said Paddy Mills. Let's hope Braino wasn't serious, and he wasn't. Sam Hauser, interesting. Grady Dick, yeah, look, potentially, yep. Jalen Wells, Io DeSunmu, all fine as last round picks. Some of the guys are jumping out now, so that's good. How long did it take us? 40 minutes? No, not even that. 35 minutes. That was quick. Good to see. Yeah, I think we're sort of done for now. Like I said, Kalkbrenner was someone I was looking at. Middleton wasn't drafted. Jeremy Grant said, geez, people have soured on him, haven't they? Yeah, we're just not hearing anyone drafting him. I just don't know what it's really, really hard to know what he's going to do. Who else have we got up here? Quentin Grimes, Santi Aldama, Eve Meese, Dylan Harper, Jared McCain, Clay Thompson. He's really not being drafted. Yeah. So, all right. Well, let's. Can I look at? Let's pull up the draft board there. So, I'm not going to do a full summary. I'll probably get a couple of these guys on the show. I'll try and get Noah on. DMAC, Matty G. Look, they'll jump on if I ask them to. So no sort of huge surprises. First round went as advertised, I suppose. Second round, Giddy, like I said, that's about as high as I've seen him go, but I'm not against it. The third round, I thought Avdia said that he was probably a little bit high for me, but picking on the turn does make it tricky. Fourth round, I think there's some nice value there with some veterans. We got Siakam, Kawhi, Jimmy Butler. In there, Porzingis as well. Then we had sort of that run of centers in the middle. And so just, I guess, trying to have a look here and figure out what stats were available at certain points in the draft. If you look late at some of the names, there's not a lot of centers. Certainly not a lot of shot blocking centers. Claxton, Mitch Robinson, Gafford, Isaiah Jackson. So sort of once you get, let's say beyond the 7th round, blocks dry up a little bit. There's the odd 1 or 2 players, but not really a lot. There's some players who can get you assists, McConnell, Collier, Monk, I suppose, depending what role he plays. DeJounte Murray, who's obviously injured. Lonzo. Yeah, but there's not a lot. I mean, Kevin Porter, Scoot Henderson, like I said, are probably 2 outliers there. Points, we know that there's not a lot of points late in drafts. Rebounds, there's some serviceable rebound numbers. And steals, well, they almost line up with assists, really. They're tricky to get. So, no, look, I think it was a fairly good reflection of what a draft looks like. Noah, thank you for being an honorary Aussie. Let's stop sharing. Actually, no, I don't need to stop sharing. I'll just bring me back in. Yeah, look, good experience. I'll post the results up on Twitter, and I will try to get a couple of guys on my show. Could even get Noah on the show now. It's what is it? 7:10 Friday, 7:10 in the morning for him. So maybe he's off to do something. I don't know. But that'll do. Just a quick mock draft there. Now, Dan Vespris and I will be recording a mock draft in about 9 hours, I believe. And it'll just be a Yahoo public mock. So this show, the audio recording of this will be out, not the video, I wouldn't think. But do go and check that one out. So check this one out. Check out Dan and I doing another mock draft. And yeah, and I'll get some guys on and we'll talk about this draft. Please go and like, please go and subscribe, do all of that stuff, help us grow. We're obviously in a nice ramp up period at the moment. We are 2 weeks away, I want to say, from the start of the preseason, and then we're 5 weeks, 5 weeks from the start of the regular season. So drafts will be starting in the next week or so, I would say, proper drafts. We've talked about this. There are benefits to drafting now. There are benefits to drafting later. Up to you. Just go in so many leagues that you're drafting nonstop, and then come and listen to us, come and listen to our stuff and win your leagues. All right, I'm out of here. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. I'm Adam King. You've been listening to Stuff It, a fantasy basketball podcast. We are done.